Hey, YTPC. It's been a minute. I just wanted to do a quick intro to this video. I had my buddy Nick from the Get Piped podcast have a little chat with me, and it was a really good time. I wish we could have gone longer. I kind of looking back now, I wish we would have did like I don't know, kept talking, maybe split up into two different parts or something like that. But hopefully, we'll find some time again to link up either at a pipe show and do another video, or even just remote like we did here. Yeah, Nick's a really great guy. I had fun hanging out with him in Chicago at the pipe show, him and Adam, and I'm looking forward to the next time. So hope you guys enjoy this little chat. Links to Instagrams and podcast and the Get Piped website, everything will be in the description. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and enjoy. Hey, YTPC. I am here with producer guy from the Get Piped podcast, Nick. What's up, man?
Hello. What's up, brother? How you doing, brother? I I'm doing pretty well. Sorry about my voice. No, it's not normally that sultry, silky satin that you get on the podcast. But yeah, we were talking before this is we both have this crud. I think I got mine from the Las Vegas show, and now it's kind of hitting about a week later. I feel fine, like overall, feel good,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm just happy to be here, man.
yeah, great. Yeah, yeah. I was sick for almost like 3 weeks, and then I started feeling better. But now I still have like this cough. I think it might just be allergies now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be smoking.
Yeah,
I should
I'm
probably.
in exactly. I'm in Virginia, and actually while I was gone last week and the week before, the weather just changed on a dime. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of it. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's not too unbearable.
I'm sure smoking probably doesn't help my cough either. But
Yeah, it's maybe it'll help. Who knows? Maybe the nicotine or something.
I was talking to Jay Furman because I was telling him how I haven't smoked I didn't smoke for like a whole week, and he's like smoke a Latakia blend first thing in the morning, and you'll feel fine. And I was like, okay, I'll try anything, I guess. I mean, nothing else I was doing was helping, so it was just funny. I mean,
Did it work?
not really, but like,
Oh. Yeah, I've man, I actually was talking to someone on Instagram. I forget his name, but he had reached out and asked about like how I've been smoking kid and stuff. He just had a kid, child, I should say, and I was like, man, I've really been smoking lately. I know I always talk about that like I feel like a fraud, but man, I've been really enjoying these I was actually gifted some Romeo and Juliet the Puritos,
mm,
like a box of the small cigars,
yeah,
and I've been loving those.
yeah,
Super good on walks, out grilling or just hanging with the family. It's super easy, and I've been the Toscanos too, of course. But
yeah,
I need to get back. I need to get into the pipes, man.
yeah,
Need
yeah.
to get back
And
in.
yeah, the weather with cooler weather coming, it's so much nicer to smoke pipes. Like I'm a big cigar guy. Like during the summer, just because the pipe,
Hmm.
when you're smoking outside, the pipes get hot and or hotter with the sun beating down on you and stuff. And cigars are just something about cigars in the summertime. It's just a lot better. So
And it's easy, right? You don't, like you can move around, you can put it down and then come back, whatever, real quick. And I feel like a pipe is just, it's tedious sometimes. And I always hate to think about it that way, but sometimes it is. Sometimes
Hmm.
I just want to sit back, relax, and just puff on something easy.
Yeah,
Take a stick off the wall and just smoke it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, like I said, no one knows the Get Piped podcast. Definitely check it out on all. It's on all uh, Apple and Spotify and everywhere. Um, so I guess let's. So obviously you're the producer guy, so you do a lot of the technical stuff for the podcast. And
Mhm.
so I guess how that come about? I guess
Yeah,
because I know
so
you were
this
on
is
the like the first couple episodes. I don't think you were on, or maybe it was
so
the
I
first.
was it yeah, essentially Adam get piped. My name is Nick, for those who don't know, and he made a pilot episode. It was like 7, 8 minutes of rambling, and he released that in January of 2022. And that next episode I was on. Basically, he introduced me as I think it was like the co-producer guy or something, and that basically I would just be on every now and then to help because I actually did a little podcast with my wife um, during COVID. I think it was 2020, 2021. We were just doing something, just kind of talking. We're honestly talking about marriage and just, we were going through like COVID, like everyone was. We were about to become new parents, and we just kind of wanted to share that with folks. Just talking to a mic and get some. It was more so helping our marriage than it was anyone else's.
Yeah.
And we had some friends reach out, and it was nice. But I had a little bit of history of that working. It was mostly on GarageBand
Hmm.
in Apple. Like I had a Apple laptop, and of course that died recently. So I've been doing actually like the Audacity platform. But anyways, we'll go back to the beginning, and Adam had me on. I guess it was technically the second episode, first episode after the pilot, and then I've been on every week for the most part ever since. And it started out just helping him produce things. He was more the video side of things because, he does the YouTube. For those who don't know, I have no hand in the YouTube channel. I do the podcast. He has all the technical abilities to do the video editing and all that stuff. I just really don't, to be honest. It's not that I couldn't. I just haven't put the time and effort in, and it's a lot of time. Um, but yeah, and then I just have kind of been going since, and it's been ups and downs and good, all pretty much mostly goods, no real bads, and it's very interesting to look back on almost the past 2 years and be like, I did not picture myself doing this 2 years ago. By no means is it a full-time job or anything. It's a hobby at this point,
Hmm.
which is good. It makes it still fun.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Yeah. Um, and because you guys have like a huge range of series
hmm
in the podcast and everything, and do you hope come up with those series ideas, or is it usually Adam's ideas, or kind of both?
yeah, it's both really. He comes up with the names. Sometimes he comes up with the names, and then we just figure out a topic with it.
Hmm.
And pretty much every week we're collaborating on, the show notes for things. We're both writing a lot, for whether it's kind of our longer form stories. We do poems. We do like letters from either a fictional or a real character. They, air quotes, write us a letter. And so there's a lot of effort that goes into each week. And I really enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like we have to compile all of these all the segments that we have to do, so we're getting a lot of information with that. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years, both from just like talking with Adam, talking with our guests, which we don't have on as often as we'd like, I think. Um, that's just timing thing. There's been a lot going on in both of our lives, and then sitting down with folks to do it. It's been a little tough, and we have a list of folks who we want to sit down with and talk to, and it's always hard because you know, like we've really tried to set ourselves as like this professional show, but also having a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And I'm no teacher when it comes to this stuff, nor is Adam really, though he has a good amount of experience. He's been smoking pipes for I think um, about almost 6 years, maybe a little more. But within those 6 years, it's been like some people's lifetimes of smoking, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And so when it comes to the topics and everything, we're always trying to improve. We're always trying to make things better. And at the end of the day, we are going to look to eventually, I don't know if it's anytime soon, but maybe phase out some series and maybe introduce some new ones or improve some. And this year has honestly been our time to improve all the series that we kind of set forth
Yeah.
in the last year. And I think it's I think we've done a good job.
Hmm.
There's always room to improve, but looking back, I think we've done well.
Um, I'm trying to think of how you guys have like 7 different series, roughly 6 or
Oh
something,
man,
or is it more than that?
we yeah, I think we have double that
Really?
like out there. Yeah, I'm gonna say 14 or 15, and
Okay.
hopefully my you can still see me on the screen. I'll just
Yeah,
look
yeah.
it up real quick, but it's yeah, it's one of those things where we're always just kind of growing this stuff. We're at this point we are at let me see here. Oops. I think we got there's we got 22 minus one, 2, 3, so we're at 19 potential series that we
Yeah.
do. So yeah, that's actually
That's
more than I thought.
that's more than I
Um,
thought. Because I
so
always
like
I always feel they're all different, but I guess
they
I
are.
always forget. I mean, because there'll be sometimes where you won't do a series for a while, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it pops up, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this one.
Yeah, and there's some we have that we don't want to do often, but sometimes we do more often than not. And one of those is Cover My Ash.
Oh, right,
Um,
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah,
that's one where, you know, those times are where either Adam or I cannot we can't get together essentially. And yeah, that one's we tried to do sparingly, but this year we've done more often than not, and that
hmm,
just has to do with I shouldn't say more often than not, more often than we wanted to.
yeah.
And that has to do with a lot of moving and just things going on in life.
I do enjoy those because it's something different, and it's also it's you're still giving us an episode. We're not having to miss out a week because of it. It's nice. This might not be
Yeah.
the normal get piped episode, but it's something for us to listen to still.
Yeah, and that's our goal. We want to put something out every week, regardless of what's going on. And just kind of being honest and upfront, Adam's in Ireland right now
Hmm.
for about 2 weeks, and yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what to do. And we always do.
Yeah,
We always figure something out. And I think that's what we want to bring with the professionalism to the podcast. And we've seen constant growth over the last, almost 2 years. And that's something that, like, at the end of the day, even if we didn't have that, we'd still probably be recording. We'd still be talking to each other and putting it out. It is helpful to see that to as a motivating factor, but yeah, we're two guys talking and having fun, and
hmm,
you know the idea of making content is really important to us because we found our niche, and we'll continue to find that niche and adjust. But I think we've definitely found it in that sense.
so I know you guys do have a lot of series where you guys would write poetry or short stories, stuff like that. Um, you probably can't speak for Adam, but I'm sure Adam probably has the same thing that he does, like you probably. But like, do you set a time during the week to just focus on writing stuff for the show? Um,
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. There's also some times where like we're going at it together in terms of like writing stuff out and playing off one another and doing things like that. Um, I don't know if there's necessarily a specific time. Sometimes it's done ahead of time, like maybe a couple of weeks ahead. Like
mhm.
we for the most part we try to schedule things out. Doesn't always go to plan, but we try to schedule it out and anticipate. Okay, we have to really write for this one, and do our research or whatever. So we're doing that ahead of time. And yeah, so I don't think there's a specific day or anything like that. It's just kind of when we're able to. And sometimes, it's a slow day at work, and I do got something on my mind to pull it up and write it out real quick. 5 minutes, whatever it is.
Okay, yeah. Um, and then I think what I like most about the show is the segments. I think that's probably my favorite. Um,
Yes.
I did ask Adam a question on Ask Adam Anything one time to see if you guys could see the podcast being like a 2 episodes a week kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the main reason behind that was because I wanted to hear more of the segments. I was like, oh,
Yes.
if you did 2 episodes a week, I could get double the segments.
Double.
Uh,
I know. It's so interesting because we've had, people comment we've had multiple things where one they hate the smoking and joking where we're talking for it's gone on it's exceeded kind of what we anticipated it
yeah,
being. Right? We're up to 40 minutes of talking, but we always try to relate it back to pipe smoking or
yeah.
smoke and tobacco or cigars, whatever it is. We veer off course, but we try to bring it back.
Mhm.
Sometimes, yeah, that leads us to 30-minute, 40-minute conversation or rant or whatever it is. So
I
we got people complaining that we talk too much there, rightfully so. And then we have people who say, I skip all the fantasy stuff and all the writing that you do in the series. But, kind of looking back, we've never had anyone say I hate the segments and stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we just do like a random episode of just segments,
That'd be
like full, like all on segments.
that'd be
We
fun.
call the episode like smoke segments. I don't know. I'm not the name guy for the
Yeah,
series. That's Adam.
that'd be fun though. I personally love because when you guys started doing the smoking and joking, I love it.
Mm.
I really do because
Okay.
we get to
Heck
we hear kind of what you guys have been up to.
yeah.
It's kind of
And
kind of
that's
nice.
yeah, that's the goal is, you know, the biggest compliment that we could receive is I forget who said it, maybe it was you. I forget. Anyway, someone was like, I was at the Smitty Cigars event in Georgia. They were like, man, you guys are like exactly how you are on the podcast, and that's what I want, right? Like that's what I want to hear.
Mhm.
Because if we are ever not who we are, if we're never not like who we are portraying, ourselves to be on this platform, on this media, eh, you know, I think we're doing something wrong, and we got to close the doors.
Yeah.
And luckily, we're going to be doing this for fingers crossed, 999 episodes, and hopefully we never come to the point where we're not genuine. And I can see where that can happen, right? Like, I, this is not. I'm not saying anything about the Squire podcast, but there was one point where I was like, I feel like they're like tired, like
Mhm.
not like tired of the podcast, but just they were just tired. And I've seen and talked to John David multiple times after, and there's like a vitality in him. Even with there's a lot of stuff going on with him in his life and in the shops kind of atmosphere and stuff like that right now. But man, he's got a vitality about him that I honestly didn't really see last year at the Vegas show, and that was kind of hard to see. But this year, man,
Yeah.
with even with all this other stuff going on, he was alive and well, and
Hmm.
you know, people go through their ups and downs,
Yeah.
and never want to get tired of this stuff. You know, I'm not. It's great to have, and I'll double tap this. It's great to have support systems, and by that I mean my wife and I know Adam's wife Dana supporting us in these endeavors that we're doing. That it's currently just really a hobby, a fun hobby that we do every week, but we try to put a good amount of time and effort and stuff into it. So
Is so I know you guys always like had talked about having a Get Pipe studio where you guys can start recording together. I mean, I'm sure that's
yeah.
years down the road, maybe, but is that like you guys are gonna move closer together to each other or something like that? I don't know if you guys have like just in the back of your mind thought about that or.
Oh man, we think about this stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We're big idea people, man. Like we've if you listen probably to some of the beginning episodes of the podcast, we talk about how we tried and failed to start like five businesses during COVID. Like we literally I don't know if you're in the Discord, but we had this mug made. It was a
Yeah.
wooden tankard. Yeah, do you remember
Oh
that?
wait, no, I don't.
No, not the ceramic
Oh,
mugs,
okay,
not
okay,
the
okay.
glass. We we talked about we tried to start a business. It was called we were gonna call it Tempest, like a storm. We had this cool design made, this cool logo made and stuff, and we were gonna sell like drinkware, like wooden, handcrafted, handmade drinkware. And we had a prototype made. Like it was made. We spent hundreds of dollars to have this made, to have it like designed, modeled by this company in Pennsylvania or whatever. And they ship it to us, and then they say the cost. And I was reading it. I was like, oh, this is a really good cost. It was like $126, and then it was like minimum order of 10. So in my mind, I was like, oh, 10 units for $126? We're talking 1260 a unit? Nope. Nope. It was $126 for one. And I was like, there's got to be a mistake here. There's got to be a mistake. And they're like, no. I talked to a guy. He was so rude. He's like, you got to go to China for this stuff. I was like, I ain't going to China, bro. I want American handmade wooden tankard. And to this day, Adam still has that. I'll try to find a photo of it and while we're talking right now. But it was just so funny. You know, we're always we've been best friends for 12, almost a decade and a half at this point. Definitely over a decade, and it's just one of those things where we're always trying to do something, and we find that even now. Like I feel like our plates are pretty full. We have a podcast. We're trying to make a documentary, which I know I said I don't, do much with the YouTube stuff. This I'm going to be doing
Yeah.
um, a lot more, and you know, we uh, we're going to be expanding the documentary some more in terms of like the overall scope, which is it's going to be really fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm excited about that. We're gonna get some sponsors, and we're going to be going some more places in the U.S. and probably just on the East Coast, not too far from us and stuff like that. But yeah, we're always trying to do something, man, and
Yeah.
I feel like we tried to start a coffee company. You know, where the the Get Pipe coffee is still in our back pocket. We're gonna try to figure out how to do that at some point. So yeah, I don't know how we got there, but it's uh it's just fun. It's fun to talk about
Yeah.
because it's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm. And I was like tossing and turning last night because we just had our first Indiana Pipe Club meet over the weekend,
Oh
and
yeah.
so I've been talking with a lot of the guys with Nate and Justin and Nate King and stuff, and just bouncing off ideas. And so I went to bed and I just couldn't sleep just because my brain wouldn't turn off. I
Yeah.
just kept thinking about stuff, and it was definitely a rough day because I was so tired.
Oh yeah. It's it's one of those things where there's been multiple times I've been laying in bed and I'm like, I really got to get a journal next to my bed and a little light and just write all this stuff down
Hmm.
because it stays in my head and it constantly goes and it's all ultimately good stuff, you know? Like
Hmm.
it is. It's fun ideas, but yeah, it's sometimes kind of crippling sometimes. You just go down those rabbit holes and all that stuff.
Um, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about some of your background on pipe smoking. Like,
Yeah.
it's been 2 years now.
Yeah,
Or,
it's so I was introduced to the pipe in probably the end of 2019, but I didn't really start smoking um, until yeah, probably January when we started the podcast. Because I didn't want to be a fraud, so I really started to learn and grow and kind of figure out what's going on. But yeah, so I'd say November 2019 is when I was really introduced to the pipe by Adam and kind of purchased my first pipe, I think around February or maybe March of 2020.
yeah.
So
What was your first pipe?
my first pipe was a Peterson,
Okay.
Peterson Aran, I believe it was.
Okay.
Um, yeah, beautiful rusticated. Still have it.
Hmm.
It's awesome. I honestly haven't smoked it in a while, but I'm never getting rid of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if you can see my funny face, but there's our tankard we had
Okay.
made.
That's pretty cool. It's all wood
It
too.
all wood, 100% wood, and we were looking to add like a food grade seal on it, and Adam has it now. He's got it somewhere. I sent it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I've had drink Guinness out of it and all this stuff." I was like, "Classic."
um.
But yeah, my piping experience has been good. You know, it's been interesting because I've picked up the pipe in the last again two-ish years, and you know, it's been filled with a time where I just haven't had time to really sit down and kind of learn a lot of this stuff. You know, I think I make excuses a lot of time, but I got two young children. One's 2.5, and the other's almost 10 months. And like I was talking about that guy earlier, you know, he just had a kid. You know, I I think it's okay to not, you know, have the time to sit down and do this because I want to learn about these tobaccos and I don't find that I really can. But I want to learn about Virginia tobacco. You know, I found that I do like Perique. I want to learn it more, and taste it more, and all these things that I don't find that I have enough time to really do that with all the you know recording that we do and then the
Hmm.
editing and all this stuff and then balancing the time to you know care for and love my wife and my children and all that stuff and I will choose them. I'll choose my family 10 times out of 10 over smoking a pipe. Um, and that's just the way it is. And there will be a time where, you know, things will change. Kids will grow up. They'll be able to go play outside on their own without screaming mommy or daddy or
Yeah.
eating a random berry that's fallen off a tree that they probably shouldn't eat and and stuff like that. Or, you know, so I'm excited for what's to come in the next couple of years and how things will change.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely it's nice being able to have some time set for yourself when your kids are older, and you can kind of
Yeah.
you don't have to be right there with them when you're outside. You can kind of they can just go play and you can hang out and smoke and stuff. But it's also
Yeah.
it sucks seeing them grow up too. Like
I know.
that's like the hard part.
It's a catch 22. It's
Yeah.
like you get a little more freedom, you know, air quotes freedom, but you also they're not, you know, asking for you. And you know, I definitely know that like that time will come and it is coming. We're already kind of seeing it and stuff. At least with our oldest, you know,
Hmm.
he's nearing 3, you know, but it'll be here in no time and
Yeah.
I'll maybe like it, but I also will not like it, like you said.
Yeah,
You got experience with it, so
yeah. The first day of school is like the hardest. That's like the worst.
yeah. And we're actually coming into a period where my wife will be leaving her job and she'll be staying home with the kids full time and at least for a time being.
Hmm.
And that's little stressful for both of us, but it will be a good thing. Especially for us in terms of like childcare and everything. We did the math and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. We're talking, you know, $35,000 a year, and it's just the quality of life with this, and she's obviously going to bear a big burden. Again, I'll say air quotes burden because I think we both see it as a good thing for our kids
Hmm.
in this time of our life. And yeah, just gonna try to do everything I support, but that might mean might need to smoke some more pipes, might need to smoke some more cigars, and to for both of us, I might need to when we're sitting out or we got those 20 minutes to ourselves, whatever it is. She likes to have a little puff on the cigar or pipe every now and then
Yeah.
just to try it, and it's we both might need that coming up. So.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, your first tobaccos that you tried
Mhm.
were they aromatics, or did you start right off on aromatics or?
Yeah, definitely aromatics. I think the first ever tobacco I got was called Blood Red Moon.
Okay, yeah.
Uh, yeah, loved it, man. Loved it. I think I still love it. I haven't smoked in a while. Just don't have a tin or anything. And yeah, I remember loving that tobacco.
And you said you're a big Perique fan, so like, what have you been smoking here recently when you do get a chance to smoke?
I've been trying to do actually a Scudo. Just trying to get the classic vapor and learn that one a lot more and understand it, get the
Hmm.
complexities and all that stuff. And I really like it. I think one thing I need to do is really, and it comes with that time aspect, is really journal my thoughts, right? Talking to some tobacconists, they're like they're smelling tobacco and they taste it. These are actual blenders, and they're like, oh, I'm getting these notes and this and that, and I'm like, man, I'm just getting like smoke.
Yeah.
I'm getting, or I can get some slight nuances of flavor, but I think it also has to do with I think they're gifted in a way of they have a very specific palate. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's genetic, but they have something, their taste buds or their nose hairs or whatever it is, they can differentiate all kinds of smells that you and I cannot.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Even Scotty Pearsall, her husband has this crazy talent of smelling wines and doing all this stuff, and they cut a certain, like, I think they cut onions and carrots on a cutting board, and then like 3 weeks later cut brisket on it. He's like, oh, this is disgusting, it tastes like onions and carrots. And she was like, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I'm like, how do people have that ability? And I just don't, and that's okay. I
Yeah.
don't mind. I just like smoking for the calming nature, and if there's flavors, that's
Yeah.
that's an added bonus for me.
Yeah. I used to not be able to pick out a lot of stuff, and but I mean, yeah, when you smoke more often and smoke different and smoke the same blend like in different pipes and stuff, you kind
Yeah,
of you can kind of pick out some of the flavors. And because like I remember when I first smoked like Orly Golden Sliced, like the first couple of years I smoked a pipe, and someone was like, "Oh, it's citrus and oranges and stuff," and I smoked it. I was like, "It just tastes like a cigarette," to be honest. Like I didn't. So that was one that I had to revisit later on because and it also helps when you like slow down. I remember I would just like puff 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 puff, like not
yeah, just
like
going.
it's slowing down. It does really help like tasting tobaccos and stuff.
Yeah, I had can't remember. I think I broke out some of my Orlick that I had, and I do remember smoking. I was like, oh, this is really fresh. This is really airy, and like I understood, um, you know, at that point, I was like, oh, this is kind of getting some of those flavors that I didn't know before, and
Hmm.
I haven't really smoked it recently, but that was a really good experience I had with some Orlick.
Yeah. Is there like a Nirvana smoke that you can remember? Or
Yeah, I had one. I think it was earlier this year where I actually had a pipe commissioned by Janos, um, Janos Kokonos. I always pronounce his last name wrong, but Janos, he's a great friend. And it was a pipe that I wanted to get at last year's Vegas show that sold by the time that I had gone back to buy it. So basically, I commissioned the same pipe. And the first smoke was a Nirvana smoke. And I was just outside, was hanging. We were we actually had a little fire going, a little campfire, and we are doing a grilling on the campfire. We had a table out where kids were chilling out, hanging, and yeah, I don't even remember what I was smoking, but I remember it being so good,
yeah.
so good. I was having some NAs, non-alcoholic beers, so it's not like there was a buzz or anything that made me feel good. It was 100% the tobacco and the moment and the experience, and yeah, I will definitely always remember that one.
Hmm.
For some reason, I don't even know the day. It could have been a Tuesday for all I know, but it
Hmm.
was so great.
Yeah. So yeah, you just got back from Vegas. I'm sure we'll probably hear more of that, more about that in coming episodes.
Yeah.
And you guys are planning? Are you guys planning on Chicago, or still kind of up in the air?
Yeah, the plan is to go to Chicago. That's definitely the plan. I think the plan is also to bring the wives this time around. There's been talks in the producer guy household that maybe we'll take a train up. Maybe we'll take
Oh,
the Amtrak up to Chicago, do however many hours it is. Maybe not. I don't know. And we shall see. Whatever's probably least expensive and maybe a little more fun and adventurous for producer wife and I. And I don't think we'll bring the kids, but who knows?
yeah,
And if we go to Vegas next year, producer wife, my wife Robin, will definitely be coming. She's already laid claim to an airplane seat to go to Vegas next year. So
cool. Yeah, my
definitely excited about that.
I think my wife wants to go to Chicago because she's never been to Chicago for anything really,
Yeah.
and every time I'm at a pipe show, I'm like, I think you'd have a lot of fun hanging out,
Yeah.
and so I'm hoping that maybe we can plan one of the pipe shows next year for us to go together and find find the kids to stay with, you know,
Yeah.
grandparents or something like that. But
And it's important. And I was at Vegas a couple times and I was like, man, I miss my wife. I miss my best friend and it was it was looking back not hard per se, but definitely was looking forward and I am looking forward to any future shows that we do go together because yeah, it's just fun, you know,
hmm
especially Las Vegas, being Las Vegas, it's a fun area, and I'm excited that the Chicago show is moved their location to I think like a more advantageous area to do some like actual Chicago stuff, which will be
yeah,
really cool.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, so one thing I like a lot about the podcast is the community that
Hmm.
has been built with the Discord and everything. I've
Yeah.
met. I mean, I'm on every Friday night, even Saturday
Heck yeah.
nights too. I mean, we're always on hanging out, and uh, got a lot closer with like Nate King and Stacy has become one of my best friends, and
Yeah.
it's been super cool
I
working with
wanna
her. And
yeah, I wanna give a quick shout out to Stacy. Um, man, this this Discord would not be what it is without her, and even folks like yourself. But Stacy has been such an integral part and to this. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I have um, reached out to her as much. So this is my calling her out in a good way to say thank you so much. Like, and I'm gonna message her after this and say hi and all that. But without her, the Galactic Get Pipe Club, our online pipe club, would not be what it is, to
Mhm.
be honest. It really wouldn't. I think you can agree to that statement
Oh
wholeheartedly as
yeah.
well. Kind of being one of the OGs in the group. It's the basically the heart and soul, even when she hasn't had it, right? Like, because we're all human. We're all going through things. I know that there's things in her life that she's been going through, and it's to still be there, even when Adam and I aren't. We've kind of taken a backseat role on a lot of this stuff, and you know, it, I think that's the right thing because. Actually, I don't know because at this point, the Discord, there's people who probably don't even know about the podcast or the YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
people just join at this point, which is really cool. Did not expect that at all. But you know, they see producer guy, my name, and they're like, "What the heck does that even mean?" But anyways, her role is as well as a lot of the other OGs, stepping up, Smoke Baka, yourself, thanks to Don and yeah, man, forever grateful what y'all have built. Because, we Adam and I have maybe started it, but everyone else has kind of continued this journey. And that's been something that I don't think is talked about as much. And Adam and I, we recognize it, but I don't know if we say it publicly too often. So,
Yeah.
so this is my public statement speaking for both Adam and I to thank Stacy and all the amazing work that she's done. Thank yourself for not only the community you keep up on Discord, but your YouTube pipe community and yeah, man, it warms my heart. It really does. I just text Adam some days and I'm like, the thing I think I like most about Get Piped as a brand, as an idea, is this community.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I tell people about. I'm like, yeah, I got a podcast, it's great, but I have a 700 plus person pipe club, technically,
Yeah.
that that's bussing,
Yeah.
going every day, and
Yeah. It is funny when people will join in and then we'll be like, or they'll join in like the chat, and I think we'll talk
yeah,
about podcast stuff, and they have no idea what we're talking about, and it's like, but then I think they eventually they get into it, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of cool. Um, it was actually funny. I'm guessing you probably haven't heard of the Get Piped boycott.
There's a Get Pipe boycott.
Yeah,
By whom?
a few, guys in the chats. They said they're not gonna listen to another episode until you guys come on more.
So we come on. I agree. I don't blame them. I will be on the front lines with that boycott. I'll be honest. I'll be picketing with them and I'll be like and they'll be like they'll throw tomatoes at me. I no man, I agree. But it's hard to swing it. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
It's hard to swing it for me right now and I mean I'll throw Adam under the bus. He has no excuse.
right. Yeah,
No, just kidding. I have no excuse either for at least, 10, 15, 20 minutes. But you can tell the folks on the front line support the boycott, even though I don't. I'll be like that. I'll be the people like what do they always say? The conspiracy theorists or whatever are like George Soros is funding all these things. Yeah, I'm the Get Pipe George Soros or the Koch brothers, Koch brothers, whatever you want to call them,
yeah.
for the right way.
That's funny. Yeah, man. Yeah, gosh, about 45 minutes or so. I don't make it.
Dang, wow,
Yeah,
already.
I feel like I could just probably talk to you probably for another 20 minutes or so, but no, make it too. It's getting late and stuff, and
Yeah,
but yeah, I appreciate you doing this. It's been
yeah,
cool. Kind of shed some light on the producer's guy,
yeah,
the
man.
Get Pipe podcast.
I love it, man. I did not even think it was been 45 minutes. I could keep talking. And man, like when we finally met in Chicago, earlier this year, it was like I'd known you for however many
Yeah,
years,
for sure.
just forced you to sleep on the ground. That was but man, it's been an absolute pleasure. I so grateful that we finally got to do this. I know we talked about it maybe I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, we talked about it like a month ago or however long it was, and then I just fell off the end, and I'm glad we were finally able to sit down and talk because I think this stuff's important. What you're doing is important, and I also just like talking. I'm in the podcast business, so
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
you ask me something, and I'll go on a tangent. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Um. Gosh, there was like another thing. I don't know. My oh yeah. So it was like yeah. I was gonna bring this up earlier, like a lot earlier, because you mentioned how you guys have guests. Is there another guest coming up soon? Because it's been when was the last guest? I feel like it was Shane Ireland, and that was like last
We've,
December.
we had I think it was probably May.
Oh, it was Dan or not
Yeah,
not Dan.
Dave
Dave.
Shane.
Dave Shane. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was Dave. He was the last guest and
That's what it was. Okay.
great guy. But yeah, we got some that we have a list. We just need to sit down and talk to some folks. And there's a couple makers that we want to talk to who have actually, um, done some studying under other makers and stuff like that. So, kind of you heard it here first. I'm not won't name names, but maybe people can assume like who it is. But just getting the idea and like the understanding of what it's like to learn under another maker
Yeah.
and that process and how it goes. As much as they're willing and able to tell, because I know sometimes that there's probably like some non-disclosure stuff, like things they can and can't talk about
Mhm.
with some makers and stuff like that. But kind of, getting the community to learn that side of things, and eventually we're gonna have some tobacco blenders on and really dive into the science because that's something Adam and I are both really interested in is like the science of tobacco blending. And yeah, we got some special stuff planned for our 100th episode as well. It's in the works,
Cool.
and yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting. It's
Yeah.
gonna be really, really
That's
exciting.
coming
But
up.
yeah,
That's you guys are on 92, 93.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
coming
We're
up.
we're
Yeah.
talking 2 months, and there's again all these things we got to do. Like we got to get the year two mug going.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if we'll do a mug or some sort of tankard, and yeah, a lot to do in November and December, and it's gonna be really fun. So looking forward to Adam getting back from Ireland, and we're gonna hash out a lot of plans. So
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'll put links to the description, but you're on Instagram as GPP producer guy underscore producer guy,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
GPP underscore producer guy. But if you follow me, follow my right hand man, Adam. Get underscore piped. Follow the YouTube channel as well. That's where the premium content is, and truly is. Like I saw the sausage being made, and man, it's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah,
for 30 minutes.
I really want to learn. Like, there's this video editing software that's free, and
Mhm.
you can do a lot with it, and it's just I don't have the time
Yeah,
to learn all of it because I would
yeah,
love to do some more interesting looking videos.
yeah,
But yeah, I know it is suck because I mean I know he's so busy he doesn't put videos out as often, but when he does, they're really
yeah,
good. You can just I mean I love putting on like on the big screen because it's like a cinematic
yeah,
experience almost. But
yeah. It is, and like it's one of those things where he doesn't put them out as often, both because he doesn't really have time, but it also takes a lot of time to do them,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's a good like perfectionist attitude that he has where
Yeah.
every little cut has to be perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
he yeah, he's put a lot of time, effort, and money into a lot of the stuff that he has, and I've seen it, and I'm like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, I appreciate
yeah.
you taking time, and it's been a lot of fun. Can't wait till we meet up again in person and
Oh
hang
yeah.
out. Be just as fun.
Yeah, I'll be on the front line of that the Get Pipe boycott on the chat
Yeah.
here maybe this Friday. So
Real quick, what's your wise words of wisdom?
my wise words of wisdom this week. Ooh, man. I think today was actually a pretty stressful day for me personally. Just had some stuff going on. So my wise words of wisdom will be talk to a friend. It's really helpful. You know, it's it'll ease your mind. You get into topics that, you know, maybe otherwise wouldn't have on a normal day, and it's it's brought out a new excitement in me talking to you today, Kirk, man. It's been great because all day I hardly ate because I was like felt stressed, which is weird for me because man, I love eating and I don't often get stressed or worried about things. So
Yeah.
this is talk to your friends, reach out to them, and whether they're having a good time or maybe a hard time, it's always important. So that's my wisdom for today.
Nice. I like it. All right. And yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.